And what you pulled is extremely difficult. So we are going to power through this. And I'm going to call it like I see it. And what I'm seeing here between Prey from Lay Vampire and Isolation from Chakra Wisdom is saying that you are clearly in a death cycle, but are keeping yourself in a situation that is not good. Okay, so let's just get into this. So from Lay Vampire, Prey, stalked, invaded, and watched. I hate this card. I hate when it shows up because to me, immediately I become fearful. Now, the blessing with this card says that you are able to make a stand and you are strong, clever, and powerful. It is time to stand up to a bully or to one who wishes to blame you for their own bad behavior. You did not attract the circumstances you find yourself within. You have a great deal more power than they wish you to have. Now, working with this card says to not allow yourself to be prey for another's hunger. Do not refuse to help yourself or fall into patterns of victimhood. It's basically saying that the greatest battle that you face is the one within you that says, I give up, nothing ever goes my way. And it says that it can and it will when you believe you are worth fighting for. Now, you know, if you're going through a situation here where somebody may be like making you feel, I have this depressed feeling, and I hate it because I hate that these are the two cards that are showing up, but, you know, again, I'm going to call it like I see it, so. Now, from Isolation, or from Chakra Wisdom and Isolation, if I could talk right today, the very first quote for this card says, I've got all I could ever need right here, which, you know, I mean, yeah, there's times where we need that period of solitude, but the problem with isolation is that, you know, this is asking you if you're waiting for the right time to live your own life. It's saying not to do that, that you are on the verge of something big, but if you don't participate, it could pass you by. And then the key ideas here are self-protection, making excuses, over-preparing, and never feeling ready to take action. Prey could be looked at as, you know, somebody else causing this shit. But, you know, this could also be like the internal struggle that you may be dealing with right now, you know, especially with isolation showing up. Like, if you're dealing with feelings of depression, you know, it's time to take a stand for yourself because you are worth it and your life is worth living. All right, Scorp, here we go. Here is the energy coming through. So, you know, with this being the energy that's surrounding you, one, it could say that, you know, what you're dealing with could be from an Aries because of the Emperor having to do with Aries. But I'd like to think that, you know, the Emperor being what we're coming in with has to do with getting control over the shit that is going on around us. So that is perfect to see as a signifier. I like the Emperor because, you know, he has this feeling of coming in after the Empress where, you know, she's just enjoying all these beautiful things. He's like, all right, now we're going to get shit together. And that's perfect to see with what you pulled in the Oracle cards. Oh, the past coming through, strength, perfect, perfect. Again, you know, the two, to me, especially with the devil popping out, it's internal struggles. It may have to do with feelings of depression. You know, it could be caused by somebody else, definitely. But whatever the situation may be, seeing strength as the past coming through says that no matter what you are dealing with, external or internal, you have the inner strength to deal with whatever comes up in your path. I love seeing that coming through. It's perfect. And that's exactly what you need with what's going on here. You know, I'm hoping that the Oracle cards are saying that, you know, hey, there's this acknowledgement here that there may be some really difficult things happening, but, you know, let's do what we can to change the situation. And again, with isolation, you know, there are those times where Scorpio needs to be isolated, but, you know, there's times where we need to get out too. Oh, shit. In the present, the Lovers. Now, oh my goodness. The Lovers and the Devil, you know, the Devil immediately popped in my head when that one fell, or when this one came up. There's this overwhelming feeling here that, you know, these depressed feelings have to do with a love situation, you know. I mean, the Two of Cups could have showed up, but it being the Lovers, phew. And again, you know, with that Emperor, it could be an Aries. It could possibly be, or a fire sign. No, the lovers, you know, represents the duality as well. But, you know, for me, seeing that immediately says that the focus is on a loving situation with another person. But, you know, with prey and isolation, I almost feel like you're preying on yourself. You know, like giving up and not feeling like ready for this before, you know, you've even had a chance for it to happen. Now, the other way to see it is that, you know, it could be this situation where, you know, again, you're dealing with a person, but I have this overwhelming feeling that it has to do with what you're doing to yourself right now internally. But, you know, again, for me, when I see the Devil, again, it's also about chaining yourself to, you know, old habits and bad patterns and, you know, ways of thinking, you know, chaining yourself to those limiting thoughts and beliefs that you aren't worth it when you are. You know, and again, isolation, feeling like you're not ready for it. Man, oh man. Future conditions, so there's going to be some communication coming in really quick in regards to love. You know, the Eight of Wands is also about grounding your dreams to earth, but, you know, with everything that's going on right now, I feel like there's going to be some fast communication. I think isolation is a warning that, you know, again, you're on the verge of something big here, but if you don't participate, right, that's immediately what I think about. Oh, yeah, definitely communication. The Knight of Cups, I'm glad that it's taking this turn here, you know, and you have the Emperor and Strength because, you know, it's starting to become a little bit more clear. I always get jumpy when prey shows up. Isolation makes a lot of sense to me, but when prey shows up, I get iffy. And I feel like it's definitely something that you're doing to yourself. You know. Now, the Knight of Cups being the best path to follow, I feel like it almost feels like you need to be the one here to make the offering and start the communication, is what I feel like. You know, the Emperor is saying that as far as what you're dealing with on an emotional level, it's time to get your shit together because you have the strength to do it. Because your focus is on love and there's fast communication coming through. But I feel like the Knight of Cups is saying that, you know, you need to make that offering. Now, you know, this could definitely suggest somebody else making an offering to you as well, of love and romance. But, you know, again, actions are what is important with the Knight of Cups. But definitely, you know, with it being the best path to follow, I almost feel like it's, you have to be open to it. Like, you know, in any other position, I would be questioning what that knight is doing, but I feel like here you have to be open to, you know, what's being offered. And then there's the other part, too, where you may be the one that needs to start the communication here when it comes to this. Wow, wow, okay. In your environment, you're not taking any more shit, and that's perfect. To have that energy surrounding you through what you're dealing with Lay Vampire, that's perfect to see. I like the Seven of Wands because immediately I feel like, you know, And this is somebody who isn't, you know, just going, well, I'm not taking this shit anymore. This is somebody that's saying that I have had enough. This is how I feel, and I am taking a stand for myself. And that's perfect to see in your environment. Okay, hopes and fears, Temperance. Look at the majors. Wow. Yeah, I gotta have a sip of wine. So, Temperance. Again, there's this fire energy. You know, you've got Aries and Sag sitting right there. And then the wands on top of it. Temperance is about tempering your heart with your mind. This is about needing to find that balance between, you know, the thought and the emotions. I like Temperance because it's like patience. Patience and balance, you know. Where there's going to be like this fast communication coming through, and the situation may be happening quickly. Seeing Temperance in your hopes and your fears, and then the Seven of Wands in your environment with what's going on here it's perfect. It's perfect. And it's good to see that coming through again with what you're pulling with Lay Vampire Prey. Again, that card, it's sketchy for me. You know, when I see it, I immediately get like, oh, what the fuck is going on? And then having the Devil pop out. I really do feel like this is something that's internal. And seeing Temperance coming through is perfect. It's perfect. And again, it's guidance. You know, you're not alone here. You have divine guidance coming through to help you. Especially if you're torturing yourself right now. And then having that feeling of isolation. Oh, no. You've got some powerhouses behind you. I mean, perfect. It's perfect. You know, and if your focus right now is on love, yeah, you are worth it. And it is time to take a stand for yourself. And get out of that isolation, you know. Oh, and the outcome. This to me is a warning. And this is a warning. And I'm definitely pulling a clarifier on this. I'm going to go with immediately how I feel. And immediately when I see the Three of Swords as an outcome, especially for readings that I do for other people, it says to me that if you don't take action here, you're going to be left heartbroken. You're going to be left heartbroken. This doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be heartbreak from somebody else, but we are going to pull a clarifier on this. Justice, balance. I like seeing it. This immediately says to me that, you know, you are going to cut through the bullshit that may be going on internally. Because again, the Three of Swords being the outcome to me is saying that if you don't take a stand for yourself and take some action, you're going to be left heartbroken here. Because, you know, clearly there's going to be some communication coming through, but there's some issues here. There are issues here. And abundance. I love seeing it. I love it. Treat yourself is saying that it's time to, you know, really give yourself some much needed attention. Because if you've been trapped in some depressed feelings and you're putting yourself in this isolation, it's time to treat yourself. Treat yourself better. It immediately is what's coming to me. You need to treat yourself better. You know, I feel like you're preying on yourself right now and on your own emotions. And you're isolating yourself, and that's no good. But your focus is on the Lovers, which is saying that you want that. You do. And you have all these heavy hitters coming to your aid. It's just that there's some things that need to be dealt with. And if you don't, you might end up heartbroken. But with justice showing up, it's saying to me you're going to cut through that bullshit. You're cutting through it, and you're getting that balance. And Temperance is just reinforcing that. Abundance, seeing abundance. When you start to take your focus away from the things that are hurting you mentally and you start focusing on abundance, that is what you start to create in your life. And if you're wanting more abundance in love and romance, then that's where you need to place your focus. But allow things to unfold. Temperance, allow it to happen the way that it needs to. You know, I feel like the Three of Swords is saying that if you try to control the situation too much, it's just going to leave you feeling broken. Not that you're not already feeling that way between prey and isolation. Allow that abundance to come into your life and treat yourself better. Absolutely. All right, Scorp. Wow. I hate prey. I hate when it shows up. I'm always tempted to reshuffle when this shows up for anybody. But, you know, again, I have to call it the way I see it. And with isolation showing up next to it, you know, I knew that there was this feeling here that there were some internal things going on that you may be responsible for, like you're praying and stalking yourself. And there's this feeling of depression with isolation. I feel like for some of you, you're locking yourself in some really hard thinking about yourself and what you are deserving of. Now, if that's what you're dealing with right now, I feel like the universe has got a big message for you. Because with all of these majors showing up here, it to me says that you have some serious guidance coming through to help you. Having the energy of the Emperor being the signifier for this reading tells me that you have the power to get your shit together. Dealing with these kind of feelings it's not easy. It's not easy. It's difficult, especially if your focus is on the lovers. To me, it feels like, you know, this is what you're wanting to experience. This being in the present moment is saying that you want that loving connection. You're wanting to put love first in your life. But there are some things that need to be dealt with internally first. Now, there's going to be communication coming through, and I feel like it has to do with love and romance. Your best path to follow is saying that you need to be open to receiving that, and that is why allow is coming through. Allow that abundance of love to come into your life. Allow things to unfold the way that they need to. Now, you need to treat yourself better. You have to treat yourself better than what you have been, because isolation is saying that you're not. This being in your environment is perfect. Take a stand for yourself, because you are worth what you want to have. You know, you need to be open to receiving that. And again, isolation is saying that you're just like making excuses as to why you're not. And you don't want to do that anymore. And you certainly don't want to continue to allow yourself to be stuck in these kinds of feelings either.